Welcome back to Wild Drama Stories. The timestamps, as always, can be found in the description box. OP writes, Am I the a-hole for telling my family to go to hell and going no contact after years of them abusing and later ghosting me? Throwaway account for personal reasons, and I'm sorry for any mistakes. English isn't my first language. So, I'm a 35-year-old female, living quite a comfortable life now, thanks to myself and only myself. I came from a very conservative family dominated by males. My grandparents had 2 daughters, my mom and my aunt and my 7 uncles, from a country where Catholic values are deeply engraved in people's minds and souls. As a girl, I was always looked down upon, kept on a tight leash. I was supposed to be seen but not heard, be polite and subservient towards everyone, be pretty and girly, the works. That never sat well with me. I was that pants and mud type of a girl, not the Barbie doll everyone expected me to be. Thanks to that, I spent most of my childhood days grounded in my room, and till this day, I refuse to have an ironing machine at home. Shortly before my 16th birthday was my tipping point. Things I do not wish to disclose happened, and I decided to simply vanish into thin air. Next 12 years were, let's just say that it wasn't the most honorable time of my life, but I managed. By the age of 23, I bought my first house without any mortgage, credits, nothing. Hard cash. Since it was a time when I was working at a club and also sleeping there, I decided to rent the house out. Extra income never hurt anybody. Besides, I didn't plan on working in a club forever. I enrolled myself in online classes, finished high school, and thought that it was a good time to go back home and show everyone that I can actually make something out of myself. That didn't go as I thought it would. There was a lot of harsh words. Things got pretty ugly pretty quickly. And let's say that I had to take about a month or so off work to physically recover from the family reunion. My then boss's wife, bless the lady's heart, was and is a gentle, loving soul, so I stayed at their place during my recovery. That's when I decided that it's not worth the hassle and heartache trying to win my family over. I changed my legal name, phone number, email, deleted everything connected to my past, and flipped my life around. Despite my profession back then, I had a way of getting along with older folks. They liked peace and quiet, and so did I. By the age of 28, while still working at the club and privately, I got my nursing degree and elderly care certificate. I'm not from US, so it might be different, and owned 3 rental houses. Around the age of 29, I got a job as a live-in nurse/caretaker for an elderly couple in Switzerland, and been doing that till this day, jumping between Germany and Switzerland as a live-in nurse. Pay is pretty good. I have no living expenses, got the rental houses as additional income, and life is great. Last year I was able to make my biggest dream come true. I was able to buy a building with 20 flats. Don't get me wrong, it's not a high-rise or anything. It's not USA where I come from. The building has 5 stories, each has 4 flats. Nothing fancy, but I was happy. My idea was to rent out the flats at minimum rent, possible for those in need, folks that need a safe place to stay while getting their life back on track. Everything was going good till last Thursday. I have an agency responsible for renting out the flats and interviewing with people interested in living there. I sit on every single one of them personally or online, because I want to be able to see and know my future tenants. Boy, was I surprised when I saw that the people who were on the online meeting were none other than my parents. At that point, I saw red. Told the agent that hell freezes over and starts burn out before any of them step a foot onto my property. I then told my parents to go to hell and never come back, or I'll put them in prison for the rest of their lives for what they did to me in the past, if they ever try to contact me in any way, shape, or form. So, am I the a-hole for telling my parents to go to hell without even bothering to hear them out? Okay, let's get some comments with replies from OP before we get OP's update. Comment: How could you possibly be the a-hole in this situation? Opie replies, well, since Thursday I received countless phone calls from extended family, how I brought shame to the family with my past actions, and I should repent for my sins by helping my family. They got my number from the real estate agent. All my potential and current tenants have it just in case something comes up, and yeah. Comment. Tell them that the building was bought with sinful money, and all you did was protect your parents from burning in hell. Opie replies, irony of life. It partially was, not a big part, actually a really small one, but still. Besides, I have 2 ex-convicts, a recovering drug addict, a young girl with a son that ran from an abusive husband, 2 elderly couples who were a burden to the family. 4 of the girls and 1 of the guys are working while getting their degrees. Everyone is getting along with each other, taking care of one another. So over my cold corpse, would I allow those 2 toxic waste specimens to move in? Like I said, that's a safe place for people who are working on getting a better future. Please don't judge me or the people I mentioned. Everybody in life can make mistakes, but that doesn't mean that they should be judged for that till the end. Not everybody drinks and does substances. Sometimes we do what we need to survive and get our lives in order. And here's Opie's update. So, looks like no matter how one tries to keep the past in the past, it always finds a way to hunt one down. With me, it took the form of my parents forcing themselves into my life, literally forcing. Like I mentioned in my original post, I work as a live-in nurse/caretaker for the elderly and jump between Germany and Switzerland for work. Until Friday, I was at work in Germany, but that changed drastically in a matter of hours after quite a few phone calls I received from my tenants. Turns out that my parents broke into one of the empty apartment units. This is actually an issue and a big one. Country where I come from, we have a law that actually prohibits all and any evictions between 1st October and 31st March. And you also can't evict elderly people on disability and those that live with them. Due to the nature of my country, breaking and entering or illegal squatting is also off the table to get them out of my property. I went back in my country Saturday morning due to this, but what I didn't expect was a letter from the court in my mailbox stating that my parents are suing me for alimony. Yeah, lovely circumstances. After reading this, I actually flew into a rage. And the only reason why I'm actually able to get this BS off my chest is thanks to my lovely tenants, Robert and Anna. Robert was the one who physically stopped me from breaking down the doors to the flat that my parents took over, and Anna, with her doggo Aries, are total pros at calming your nerves. Who can resist a goofball golden retriever? Guys, you need to understand something here. I despise my parents to the core. Every single molecule of my body emanates pure and unfiltered hatred towards them. Endless tirades of hate spewing from my mother's mouth at each and every single tiniest mishap. Room being reduced to nothing but my bed, desk and a chair. Nothing else. No curtains, lamps, bed sheets, toys. Nothing for the smallest mistake. Till this day, I have a few marks on my back after my father's lesson on respect. They're not big, but they will stay with me till the end. Iron Machine's wet cord is no joke. The day of my 16th birthday, and the indifference to my 2 uncles introducing me to my adult life, after which I decided that enough was enough. The month it took for me to get back into shape after I went back to show them that I actually made something good out of myself. There were many more. I just don't know what to do, what to feel, think. Anger, sadness, frustrated, disappointment, fear, helplessness. I finally started to make my biggest dream come true. And now, those 2 toxic waste specimens decided to ruin my dream and drag me down to a point where I just I'm sorry guys, it's just so much. Edit to cut all and every single speculation about the country. It's Poland. Be my guest to fact-check the child-to-parent alimony and eviction bans during the winter season. Okay, let's get a comment with a reply from Opie. Comment. I 100% understand you. But you might have to prepare yourself mentally that there's a chance they'll get you with the alimony. Fingers crossed that they won't get 1 single cent from you, and may your uncles face punishment in either life or afterlife. Opie replies, well, Tuesday I have a meeting with my former boss and his wife. They know what my relationship with my parents looked like, and were the ones that took care of me after my trip home. Planning on talking to them if they would be willing to testify in court. Sure as hell I'm not going to go down without a fight. Update 2. I'm seriously done with everything. The amount of hatred someone can have for another human being who did nothing wrong to them except being born simply can't be described by any words I know. I gotta get this out of my system before I'll go completely nuts or break down again. My parents were monsters. Picture-perfect family that raised hell behind closed doors. I know what it feels like having your room stripped of everything as a child. Being beaten up with a belt or a cable to a point where it leaves permanent scars on your back. Half of your side sliced open with a broken plate after your mother gets into a fit of rage. Why? 'Cause that damn plate fell out of your hands due to exhaustion after 30+ hours being forced to stay awake. Oh, and let's not forget that 20-centimeter burn scar on my arm. Even now, you can tell where the front and where the back of the ironing machine was. The dress wasn't ironed perfectly enough. The indifference to what my uncles did. Almost 20 years, I've managed to put that behind me. I've learned to look at those scars as a reminder of how far I've managed to get away from hell. But hell always catches up. Doesn't matter how far you will run away. It always comes back to hunt you. Always. I'm sorry for the rant, but I did nothing except sleeping and crying recently. I had my appointment with my lawyers on Monday. We went with the police to get my parents out of the apartment. Turns out that it's true that tenant eviction during wintertime is illegal, same as evicting elderly or people with only Social Security. All of the above applied to my parents. But they were not tenants and could be forcefully removed from the building by the police. That didn't go well. I don't have a father anymore, and my mother got arrested. When I arrived with the police and my lawyers in tow to get them out of my property, things got ugly. And I mean really ugly. My father, hope he burns in hell for the rest of eternity, got worked up and whatever over the situation and got a heart attack. Died probably immediately. He literally just dropped to the floor and never got up. My mother, the raging lunatic that she was and is, had one of her rage attacks and decided that since it's my fault that her husband is dead, I should share his fate. Before the police was able to cuff her, she managed to leave me her final parting gift. Another damn scar on my leg. I don't care that the sperm donor is dead. I'm actually glad. I don't care that the psycho I came out of is locked up. I don't give a rat's ass about it. Took me years to get over my past and accept what had happened and learn to live with all the reminders of the past that I carry on my body. What I care about is having to deal with yet another one. Even in the end, they ultimately came out on top, leaving me with another reminder that past always comes back to haunt you, no matter how hard you try to get away. Thanks to that crap show, my lawyers were able to send a petition to court to get the alimony lawsuit dismissed, together with a bunch of other things, and the illegal living situation also resolved itself. I have enough evidence to keep my mother behind bars for years to come, and my father is burning in hell. But it brings me nothing but pain, 'cause they won again. They managed to destroy my peace, my confidence. They managed to take away the joy I felt till they showed up, and they left me with a final reminder of them. Opie, I'm really touched by your story. You were advised in the comments to go for therapy, and I think that is excellent advice, Opie. You have a lot of healing to do, and I think I can speak with confidence and say that all of us want you to be happy, Opie. You say that your parents won again. Well, I'm going to leave you with this thought. Your parents were never happy a day in their lives. People who do things like that to other people, especially their children, they've never known happiness. So they don't win, Opie. But you, on the other hand, you have a chance still to be happy. I'm very impressed by how much you've done in your life and how far you've come despite your start. Go to therapy and give it that determination that you've shown so many times in different situations, and work through all of this and come out on the other side, realizing what an amazing, strong, and special person you are, OP. I wish you love and happiness and, yes, most of all, peace. On to story number 2. OP writes, I married 30 years ago and was lucky enough to have a custom-made dress. I was very thin at the time, and the dress design I chose was not typical 90s. Think more Regency-style dress. I stored it away and carried on with life. I was blessed with sons and one daughter. I will be honest, my daughter is a totally different body shape to me, and I realized when she hit puberty, she would never wear my dress. She has a beautiful hourglass figure, whereas I was catwalk model thin. My brother has 2 adult daughters. One is built like my daughter, the other is thinner. This is the one who asked for my dress after she got engaged at Christmas. I don't like this girl. She is immature for a 27-year-old. She is an attention seeker and intentionally unemployed hypochondriac. She's one of those people on Facebook who posts cryptic comments, and when someone inquires what's wrong, she responds with, "I'll message you, hun." I dread any family events with her attendance because guaranteed she will become ill at some point, and her mom will take her home or find a room to rest, or talk over the speeches or demand to dance with the host. Every time. It gets old. I don't have a close relationship with any of that side, and my husband and kids think she has Munchausen. So she sent me a text saying, "Hi auntie, just got engaged and really want to wear your dress for the big day. Have you still got it?" I haven't responded yet. I called my mom asking how niece even knew about the dress. She said because she told her. Mom said that she offered the dress knowing it was stored away, and that because niece was on a budget, using my dress would be a great idea. And it's not like your daughter will wear it because she's so large. That hurt. She's not large. She's got boobs and a butt that women pay good money for. There's a difference. So, after laying into my mother about insulting my kid, and then laying into her again for offering something that didn't even belong to her, I hung up. I'm not a sentimental person. I love the dress, but if my daughter wanted to cut it up and use pieces of it, I wouldn't mind. I just don't want to see it on my niece, and I don't want to deal with the drama if I say no. Would I be the a-hole if I refused? And here's the update. Thank you for all your comments. They gave me good advice and highlighted things I hadn't actually thought about. One suggestion was that I should answer back ASAP. That niece may take the silence as no news is good news, and imagine that she has permission. I believe she would be the kind of person to post to Facebook, "Thank you, auntie, for giving me your dress," without getting a response. So I texted her back a few hours after her initial text. Next recommendation was to hide the dress, or suggestions my mom had already shown her the dress, so get it back. Luckily, my mom doesn't have the dress at her home. It's in my possession, and it isn't in easy access. You'd have to know where it is to find it. Our home has cameras, but I don't think this niece is that determined. She's very much a, if it's hard work, I can't be bothered kind of person. I called my daughter and had a conversation regarding what she would like me to do with the dress. She liked the idea of using pieces for her wedding and maybe making keepsakes for any daughters-in-law that enter our lives. So that decision has been settled. The last recommendation was ensure that all interested parties were kept in the loop and made aware of my decision, so there is no miscommunication later down the line. I copied my text response to niece and sent it to my brother and my niece's mother to ensure they all knew. I will tell my own mom when I've calmed down and feel like talking to her again. On to the text. No is a complete answer, but once again I feel that my mom needed to be called out for her part in all of this. Our mother has a habit of volunteering her family's time and resources to make herself look good. There's a lot of resentment with us kids over this behavior. Hi niece, once again congratulations on the engagement news. I'm so happy for you both. I do still have my dress, but I'm afraid that Nana misled you to believe my dress was available to be loaned out. My dress has great sentimental value to me and, daughter's name, will be the only other person to have access to it. I'm sure when you contact Nana again, she'll be able to help to find you an alternative dress. See you all at Easter, XXX. She texted back immediately. Okay, thanks anyway. I copied this message to my brother with a comment. This is for you to deal with in case there is drama. Mom has been trying to play the hero with other people's things again. He hasn't responded yet. So that's it for now. I checked niece's Facebook page this morning and there was no passive-aggressive memes or comments that I can see about family not supporting her or not being the favorite, and that's how she likes it. So hopefully this will blow over. Hopefully. Well, Opie, I am hoping with you that this is now the end of it and that your niece accepts your answer and that she's going to find another dress. Well, that's it for this edition of Wow Drama Stories. I thank you so much for being with me. Please leave me a comment, take good care of yourself, and I'll see you again next time.